3 Crossing Paths. Chapter 2. The Danish ship was cruising in the North Sea just off North Head. They were heading for Greenland, but some of the Inuit crew were taking a long time to get things ready. The captain learned over the years to trust the Inuits' intuition. They were delaying, he knew for a reason. As far as he knew, the weather was fine, so he was bemused about their procrastination. He called his first mate over and asked, "Do you know what the Inuit are waiting for?" "No, sir, but as far as I can tell they are waiting for something to arrive. They keep looking out towards the south," responded the first mate. "All right, let's wait another 10 minutes and then get some of the other men out to get the ship moving," said the captain, who was noticing the sudden commotion on deck. He and the first mate went out and looked overboard, where the Inuit were all talking and climbing down off the ship. In the water they saw 2 dolphins, who were making such a racket, and between them an unconscious woman. 2 Inuit sailors were already in the water holding the woman and bringing her up onto the boat. The captain moved forward to look at the woman. Was she still alive, he wondered? Her colour wasn't good. "Take her to my quarters and call the medic. And keep her warm," he commanded. He turned to his first mate and said, "We better let the Coast Guard know that we found this woman." Just as the first mate was moving, an Inuit sailor, obviously the head yeoman, blocked him and addressed the captain and said, "Sir, excuse me, but we have been waiting for this woman and she must go to Greenland with us." They looked at the yeoman and the captain asked, "Is it because of this woman you were holding the ship up?" "I'm sorry, sir. Yes, sir. We were told she was on her way," answered the yeoman. "And who told you?" asked the captain. The yeoman looked up to the sky and back at the captain without saying anything. "Your God?" asked the captain. "Yes," replied the Inuit. "All right, get the ship ready to leave," ordered the captain. "Yes, sir, thank you. And will you take her to Greenland?" asked the Inuit. "I will let you know." He turned to his first mate and said, "Don't call the Coast Guard yet. I must think about this. Take us out of here." "Yes, sir." The captain went down to his cabin and stood in the door watching the medic as he was administering heat pads and reflective blankets on the woman. He wondered who this woman was, how she was brought by the dolphins, another extraordinary event, and then being told by the Inuit that their God told them to bring her to Greenland. The captain was a wise, experienced and perceptive man. He valued the Inuit as his crew and in their uncanny ability to predict sea and air currents. They always attributed their knowledge to their hereditary and God, and now he thought their God had asked them to pick this woman up and take her to Greenland. He knew he was required by maritime convention to report her finding to the Coast Guard, but if he did that, then she wouldn't be going to Greenland. The Coast Guard would no doubt collect her directly from the ship. The situation was awkward. Of course no one other than the crew saw her board. He turned to his medic and asked, "What is her condition?" The medic, without turning, replied, "She may have experienced hypothermia, still unconscious, but her vital signs are stable. I don't know how long she's been in the water. Do you think the dolphin saved her?" "Saved her? Do you think she was drowning? Or do you mean you think she was trying to take her own life?" queried the captain. "Well, she is this far out in a swimming costume and unconscious. Why would she be in these waters at this time? No one surely would go for a swim on her own at this time," answered the medic. "The Inuit were expecting her. They delayed our departure because they were told to wait for something," revealed the captain. "That changes the story. They must know more about her," responded the medic. "I don't know. You know how reticent they are about disclosing anything about their knowledge. It is always God and hereditary. They want me to take her to Greenland," answered Captain. "But we can't. She needs to get to a hospital. She can't stay in these conditions until we get her to Greenland. She may not survive," insisted the medical officer. "Do you really believe she is in such a critical state?" asked the captain. "I would say normally anyone would be, but she seems to be all right. Even now she is stable, although still unconscious," answered the medic. "Well, stay with her, and I'll see if I can get a bit more information from the Inuit," said the captain. He left his cabin for the bridge, still wondering what he should do. He arrived at the bridge to find his first mate looking intently out to sea. He followed his gaze and was surprised at what he was seeing. "Where are we?" the captain asked the first mate. "Sir, this is extraordinary. I can't believe the speed we're travelling at. We're going like the fish in the sea. We seem to be travelling on a current. We are in the Atlantic, sir, closer to Iceland than to Britain," answered the first mate. The captain looked at this strange crew, who seemed to be working very efficiently. "Are you steering?" asked the captain. "I am, but it seems to want to move in one way only, and I'm only helping direct it." "Good. I'll take over. Bring me the Inuit yeoman," requested the captain. When the captain held the wheel, he could feel how it wanted to move. It was riding the current. He might as well put it on automatic pilot, as he didn't need to do anything, and he wanted more information from the Inuit. The yeoman appeared with the first mate and stood to attention. The captain looked at his peaceful face and asked, "Why is this woman so important, and who are you taking her to in Greenland?" "Slatromi will collect her, he has called her." "I know no more," answered truthfully the yeoman. "Slatromi? I have heard of you talking about Slatromi before. Is he human, or is he your god?" asked the captain. "We don't know, sir, but the Inuits have had contact with him for a very long time. We respect and value him, and he has supported and helped us," responded the yeoman. "I see we are making astonishing progress towards Greenland. Is this the work of Slatromi or the ocean?" asked the captain. "Both. It is a powerful current in the ocean moving in the direction of Iceland," answered the yeoman. "One more question. Will I meet Slatromi?" asked the captain. "If Slatromi wishes it," answered the yeoman. "Thank you. You can go back to the deck." The captain turned to his first mate and said, "Let's hope we do meet him. I would certainly like to know what sort of being can direct the ocean's currents like this." He thought, "Well, the decision about the woman has been taken out of my hands." Mrs. McBride, Kira's landlady, was now getting worried that she still hadn't seen Kira for almost 2 days. She went up to her room to see if Kira's things were still there. She didn't believe she was the type of woman to leave without paying or saying anything. Such a pleasant woman, a bit lost like so many young people these days. Mrs. McBride started to think about the dolphin tail and of her interest. Strange, she thought, and then she remembered about the ominous feeling in her gut. Now, she was certain about what she had to do. She would call the police and report her missing. A few hours later, the constable came around, looked at Kira's room and belongings. "It all seems to be intact. If she left, it looks like she left most of her things behind. How did she appear to you?" "Well, perfectly normal. Nice young woman, very interested in the dolphins. Said she saw one close to the shore. I ended up telling her about the dolphin tail. You know the one." "Oh, aye. So we had better look at the beach, look along the shore." "I'll be going. Let us know if you hear anything." "Oh, aye, constable," said Mrs. McBride. Mrs. McBride wondered about the tail and the missing man, and now a dolphin and a missing woman. "I wonder if this means anything," mused Mrs. McBride. The constable left and didn't think anything unusual. She could have easily met a friend, lover, or went off with him. Nothing abnormal about that. But the dolphin story made him slightly uncomfortable. It was probably a fictitious tale and nothing more, but it was always told with such earnestness. He'll go to the station and explain the situation to his sergeant, he thought. His sergeant was definitely ambitious and longed to be working in a large city like Inverness and not out here. Colin was a bit too quiet for him. The sergeant's reaction was predictable. "Right, let's comb the shore and see if we can find anything. Constable Murray, look on the database and find all you can on Kira, Prince. Find a contact number. Where does she live? In Exeter? I wonder what brought her here to these parts by herself. How long did the landlady say she was planning to stay?" "A week, sir, and she's been missing for almost 2 days. Murray, see if she was a visitor at Finhorn. She may even be there." Sergeant Macduff and Constable Walters drove down to Colin Bay. The beach was very quiet at this time. A few people walking their dogs was still possible, as the summer enforcement hadn't come into effect yet. Macduff sent Walters to walk along the pier and asked some of the fishermen if they saw the woman. "We need a photo of this woman," he thought, "and I must see if Murray was able to get a picture." Macduff joined Murray talking to one of the fishermen on the pier. The fisherman said, "Oh, aye, he saw some dolphins here the other day. Not the ones we normally see. They're different, had white noses. I saw a young woman near the dolphins, and one dolphin seemed to go very near her, and he was jumping in the air and talking. I've never seen that. That was the last time I saw her and the dolphin," said the fisherman. Macduff, leaving Murray, walked along the beach as he saw 3 young children playing with a yellow scarf. They stopped playing as soon as he walked towards them, and all stared at him. They knew who he was. Oh, hello, children. What are you playing? Just tug of war with this scarf Barbara found. Oh, really? Can I see? Where did you find it? On the beach. There was no one here. It didn't belong to anyone, said the boy quickly. When did you find it? Yesterday, sir, said Barbara. If I give you 20p each, can I have this scarf? You see, a young woman is missing, and it may be her, said Macduff. Oh, is it the woman with the dolphin, said Cullum, the young boy in the group around 9 years old. Oh, aye. And what did you see? Well, sir, I was passing the beach the other day, and I saw a woman swimming out to a dolphin. I couldn't stay long. I wanted to watch and go closer, but I had to go back to school, said Callum. Oh, and what time was this? It was 9:30 in the morning, sir. And why weren't you in school? Well, I was, but I went out to go to the toilet and just continued walking, sir, towards the sea. But please, sir, don't tell anyone. I didn't stay long and went straight back to school. So you didn't see the woman coming back to the shore, asked Macduff. No, I was scared. I thought she could be drowning and I wasn't meant to be here, said the boy. So now, boy, what is your name? Callum. Callum, did you stay and watch her? Oh, just a few minutes. Did you see anything else? No, there was no one else around. Very well, Callum, but I may need to speak to you again. Where do you live, and what is your name? Kerr, sir. I live in Seatown. Very well. If you see or hear anything else, you come and tell me immediately. The children ran off. Constable Waters walked towards Macduff. After a quick exchange of information, Macduff said they had better see what Murray had found and make a visit to Findhorn.